welcome to Brother Force 141 podcast. It's called the ShotCast. I'm James. Alongside me today, we have the co-host, Aaron.
Hello.
6000. And then our special guest today is Mute. He is a member of the Special Forces.
Hello.
And he doesn't speak much.
Makes
So
sense.
I think we'll just introduce ourselves and then we'll pass along the line. So I run the Air Force side of the crew. Alongside that, I had helped form the crew ages ago, and then obviously we went from there. Created Brother Force 141. Now it has loads of different regiments, loads of different stuff. I'm going to pass over to Aaron to discuss who he is.
Good morning, good evening. So, obviously, my name's Aaron, or aka Dark Magic 6000, owner of Brother Force 141. We've started this crew back in 2018 with me and the host. We created this, just out of fun intentions, and then we decided to make this full realism and get the best out of it, which is really effective. So, obviously, as the owner, I have many orders to give out, many organisations. That's the wrong word. Many objectives to give out to everyone as well, what to accomplish and stuff like that. I'll pass you on to Mute.
Yeah. Hello, I'm part of Bravo Force 141 SBAC Special Forces. Like James said, I'm not talking very much. So I'm an exploit specialist, and I'm a long-serving member of Bravo Force 141. I was first in the Air Force with James when the stuff happened we're going to talk about. Then I got to military, led the armored infantry, and now I'm a special forces.
Okay, cool. So I think we're going to be using this to sort of discuss the crew issues kind of thing, and then we're going to, obviously this first episode, we're going to be introducing what we do in the crew, and then we'll be moving on to more sort of serious topics in terms of news and events that we're running throughout the week or have been. Basically like a bit of an information podcast for the crew to listen to, because it saves us having to give out loads of information in writing. We can just say it out loud. Hopefully we can make this fun and enjoyable, so we can find some funny experiences and stuff like that. I think what we're going to have first, if I can just have our co-host Aaron just talk about some of the regiments they offer in the military, and maybe some of the events they do and what they do when they receive a new member in terms of training, stuff like that.
Okay, so in Brother Force military, we currently have two departments. The Air Force, which is the host, or James, he's the general of the Air Force, and then we have the military side. So I mean the army side, not the military, because the military covers all of it. So in the army side, we currently have 3 departments or 3 regiments for you to join. So if you don't know what we are, the Brother Force Army is the main ground forces deployed in Los Santos and Blaine County. They will take control and fight for freedom. They operate from peacekeeping to combat operations. So for our first regiment, we have the Riflemen. Just before I get into it, actually, just a disclaimer: these names are just made up because we don't want to copy exactly.
Oh, I think we've lost him there.
Okay.
Anyone? Okay. Technical.
Oh,
hello. We lost you there.
yeah, is that right?
Yeah, you're better now.
Yeah. Okay, so just wanted to mention these regiments are not of real life. We've made this up. You're still getting real life basic infantry training from this. But we just, for the name, we don't have it as the real life regiment. So if I carry on, so the Riflemen, these soldiers are the main key of the frontline combat. So you could be dealing, with CQB, mid-range battles and long-range battles. You could literally be used for anything. You're a normal infantry soldier deployed on the field. Next, we have a support gunner. So these soldiers, basically from the name, from itself, you can tell they provide suppressive fire upon the enemy. So for instance, let's say if we're scouting out an area and that we're getting heavily fire upon us, our support gunners will be laying down suppressive fire for our...
Oh,
I lost them again.
we've lost him again.
moving from the flank.
Oh, you
You can
did.
get him.
Well, Aaron, we lost you again.
What the fuck is going on?
Buy yourself a headset. Thank you.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, okay, I don't know what the fuck's we're having some technical difficulties here.
What the first part as it happens. It's normal.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then the armoured infantry, these soldiers operate in high weaponry vehicles, such as like Rhino tanks, Kanjani tanks, Cherno bogs, half tracks, all that kind of stuff. So we're soon going to introduce more regiments and introduce the Navy as well. But at the moment, we're kind of focusing on the whole regiment, the whole departments with the Air Force and the military. So at the moment, we're not including the Navy yet, but we soon will be implementing it. So if you are interested in the Navy, or if you have any experience in the Navy, feel free to come along, let me know, let one of us know, and then we'll keep it considered.
Very cool. So, just on a final note from you, Aaron, as briefly as you can, just explain, if you're a new member joining, what you can expect from your regiment leader and your regiment itself.
Okay, so I'm going to explain the whole process of joining, because people do get confused by it. So in order for you to apply or enlist in Bravo Force 141, depending what department you want to join, for the Air Force it's going to be a little bit different. But if you want to join the Army, you'll have to join our Discord server, which will be the link in the description, and then from there will be a channel called Application Process, and from there you can apply to our applications, and one of our officers will contact you personally and schedule an interview. Now, like I've said before, we are Milsim, so we do go for full realism, so you will be interviewed on call. That could be either Discord or PlayStation Party, whatever, anything that you can communicate with. We will just ask, basic questions, key questions, and then ask like, why do you want to join? Why are you interested in this one? Have you got any experience? Blah blah blah.
Oh,
No, I lost him again.
Going on, right?
right, you're back
I
again.
don't know what...
How do you know you've left? Because for us, it just cuts off.
what...
Oh, he's gone.
Hello.
Hello, you're back again.
Okay,
You literally
yeah.
got up to the.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just
go on.
put my 4G. I put my 4G.
Okay.
So, sorry about that for like the 7th time. So, once your application has been, you will be going into boot camp. So you'll be going through basic training, just understand the basic drills. You'll get disciplined. You'll have to use teamwork, communication, leadership, and then from there, that's when you get enlisted into phase 1 training. So with the new members that join, depending what regiment you wish to join in the army, like I said, we've got the rifleman, support gunner, and armoured infantry. You'll be contacted. Your regiment leader will contact you about it, and he will discuss information with you about that regiment, what uniforms are required, and so on and so on. I could go on for ages, but I don't want to keep on the call for long, if you get what I mean. So I'll pass it over to you, James.
Yeah. So, very slight difference in the sort of process for the Air Force. You're going to join our server instead of the military server. first, and then you get like a welcome pack. I'll start from the beginning. So you join our server, you submit your application, we schedule an interview the same way you would have in the military. And the reason we do that is because we're basically rooting out any issues that you may have in the future, and then we can obviously find them out before you even join, rather than finding it out later down the line. So once we've done that, you've had your interview, you've been all successful, you will then get a welcome pack, and in the welcome pack it's like a welcome pack that we mail to your house. It's just on Discord, a few channels that you have to look at. You look at all that, there's some videos on there that you need to watch. Once you've done that, you'll then schedule a training session with one of our 4 flight instructors, I want to say. You can do that, you can see their schedule, and you can just book online. They get an email, you get an email, and you're both on the same page. Usually they will DM you with any specifics, like, you're going to need a headset, stuff like that. For both branches, both the Army and the Air Force, you will need a headset, because otherwise you can't communicate. And then we'll just go through your first session. We'll basically go through things like, do you have a hangar in Zone Kudo? What planes do you have? Where can you see yourself going? And then we'll run you through some of the basic stuff that we do in this crew on your first sort of session. So that's the Air Force. And then we don't actually have the leader of the Special Forces with us today. We have a member of the Special Forces. If you want to run through maybe your experience of how you managed to get that Special Forces rank and the sort of things you do. Oh, quickly, just to let me mention, before I pass over, Air Force has, obviously the Air Force and ABU. It's a very small part of what we do, because it's a very small regiment, basically like a ground forces regiment, but we're only training in very certain situations, so we can't really compare ourselves to the military in the sense that we're going to deploy everywhere. But for situations like hostages, extraction, more tactical operations, we train for that in the ABU, but we won't deploy the ABU for something like a crew war or something like that, only for very specific situations, but that's explained to you when you sign up. Anyway, going to pass over to Mute now. He's going to discuss his experience in the Special Forces, how he got there, stuff like that. Over to you, Mute.
So like I said before, when I introduced myself, I joined the Air Force before as a B11 pilot for about, I don't know, 1 month or something like that. Then I thought military would be more fun because I saw military like in Titans and Halo jumping, which is, I don't know which part, it's normal basic training, right?
Yeah.
So, and I thought for like a week about that, like, well, do I really want to join military and leave the Air Force behind? Because when I joined the Air Force, we had many B11 pilots. So, and then I joined military, and Dark asked me if I want to be the regiment leader of the armored infantry, as I've been introduced by Dark. And yeah, then the SBAC was finally ready to get members, and I got the application. It was good, and then I had to wait like for 2 more or 3 more weeks so I could get demoted and join SBAC Special Forces. And yeah, that was about it. So I trained. Like, I've just finished my training because Levi is in his vacation now. He deserves it. And I got introduced as a I got trained as a bomb specialist, like checking for bombs, breaching bombs, and all that stuff. And I trained myself as a CQB specialist.
Okay. That was definitely an overview. So we've covered all the regiments now in Bravo Force. I think what we'll do is just briefly talk about a few events that we run regularly, and then we'll wrap it up from there. The next episode will be a bit more just talking about sort of funny experience in GCA, funny experiences in general. It's just like, funny stories. Because I know I've got a few. One I might mention at the end of this. But yeah, my mind's just gone blank. Events, that's what I was meant to say. Right, so in Bravo Force we run quite a few different events each month. Both military and Air Force obviously you can join. What we do is once a month we hold a playlist of jobs which we invite all members to come along and participate. It's usually stuff like races, death matches, that sort of stuff. That was once a month, and then throughout the month we'll run training sessions or RP sessions, or we still do run like adversary series on the weekends, so we might be playing, slasher, something like that. And then obviously people come along to that. So it's quite an engaged crew on the whole. I'm wanting to just share one sort of story before we wrap it up, and then we'll have a final sort of word from our co-host today. And that is this guy on your phone on GTA called English Dave. Now, we'll have to cover this in a separate video, but there's this crew video podcast. There's this crew called CCMR, Clone Corps Recruitment. They're a horrible bunch, but we had members that were basically being manipulated to join them. And
no, we are calling they were brainwashed.
Yeah, brainwashed. That works even better. And so basically, I was in a session once, we're in a crew war with them, and English Dave gives me a call, the guy who runs the nightclub thing, and I answered it by accident, and I wanted to join this motorcycle club so I wouldn't be killed by friendlies. So I couldn't join this motorcycle club because English Dave had set me up on this DJ mission, which I really didn't want to do, and there was no way to quit it. So I just decided to find a new session. And at the time, we were aware that there was someone in our crew that was spying on us, giving information to Clone Corps. Anyway, I went to this new session, literally by coincidence. I'd loaded into another online session and found one of our members literally in the same session as the enemy, one of the enemies. So that's how I found out that was, the spy in our crew. But if it wasn't for English Dave, giving me that phone call, I'd have never found out. So, I mean, it's going to be a story I'm going to tell for a while. But, big up English Dave. Aaron, are you still with us? I don't think he is. Oh, he's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Right, we're going to wrap it up now because it's been 22 minutes. Obviously, next podcast will be a bit
not
different.
Exactly. We haven't been here before.
Yeah, this is like our third take of the podcast. First two have failed. Yeah. So second episode should be, hopefully we'll get a different special guest on, or maybe a few special guests. And we're going to be hopefully running through maybe things we've been doing in the week and upcoming things to look out for, funny stories, stuff like that. And we know how it works now, so it should be a bit more organised. Aaron, do you want to say anything before we end it?
No, I can't think of anything. To the members, crew members who are still with us today, keep up the good work, because I know you guys are keeping up the really good work. I mean, apart from these Star Wars crews attacking us 24/7 because they like dick sucking us, it can't be helped. It's just they're very pathetic and childish.
They're
So
actually
I
not
mean,
true.
just do what you think is best. If you want to just leave the session, go ahead. If you want to leave the game, go ahead. If you want,
Yeah.
I don't know. I could go on for ages. But literally, they're a bunch of twats. So just fucking really, I don't give a fuck. But to the members who aren't a part of Brother Force 141, I just want to say we are currently recruiting at the moment. Like we discussed about the recruitment of the stages. You can review this back and see what we say again. But we'll link our social media links for you to check out, or if you are already interested, you can join our Discord server and apply from our service.
Right. I mean, it's been a good podcast. I'm happy we managed.
It was really good for the first time, actually. I've seen less good podcasts.
Yeah, thanks for coming along today. If you've listened all the way to the end, then you're something.
Yeah, I stayed up the whole night. Like, I'm awake since 72 hours.
Yeah, so we're going to be wrapping up
just
now.
Waiting for the announcement that podcast is starting.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to wrap it up now. Thanks for joining the ShotCast. I've been your host, James, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.